Record. Okay, there we go. So we're going to get into some of the, like I said, this is going to be kind of a shift mastermind. Since no one's here right now, it'll be a mastermind between me, the book, I think my camera, yep, the book, and some of the videos that I've been watching on the Shift Facebook page. If you guys have not joined that Facebook page, I highly suggest you do it. I'll show it right here. Pivot, shift ahead. Every day, daily conversations with James Shaw, who is an awesome teacher. I don't know if any of y'all were in the bold that we had with him. Me, Matt, and Patrick took a bold with him. Awesome bold teacher, and really great at leading these calls. Every morning they start at 8. They're all recorded. So if you go to media and videos, you'll be able to see all of the videos that they post. They've been doing it every day. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they said this week was like week 18. So just a ridiculous amount of videos there. Tons of stuff to be checking out. They're only 30 minutes. Top agents, not just from Keller Williams, top agents across the country. Talking about those, talking about their strategies, sharing scripts, sharing successes that they've had to get you motivated. Definitely suggest checking out that. But let's jump right into the book. So if you're watching this later, I want you to take out some sort of piece of paper. And I'm going to have you writing a bunch of stuff down. We're going to do a couple of activities. And then I'm also going to have you write down some of the pages that we're going to look at. First, we're going to hop right into page 49 in the book. That is going to be tactic number 4, find the motivated. Let's see if I can lead generation. So that's going to be, at least on my book, page 49. The table of contents that I looked up said it was like page 57. But you'll be able to see in the bottom, let's see if I can put that, let's see how I do that. So here it says find the motivated right next to the page number. You'll be able to find it through that. So if it's not the same page, feel free to go looking for it there. So we're just going to kind of start off with, this chapter talks about lead generating in a shift. It starts off, and I'm just going to read a couple things from it. Starts off, the first words of the chapter are fewer leads, fewer showings, increased days on the market. Of course, that's not exactly what we're seeing right now. We are seeing fewer leads, fewer showings, and we're seeing decreased days on the market. Stuff's selling like crazy. Inventory's low because everything that comes on sells immediately. And the first thing that this chapter talks about is how that's not always a lack of people wanting to buy and sell. It's a it's a change in their motivation. So the market has shifted, but what's really happened is buyers and sellers' motivation has changed. This says, regardless of the economic causes or driving forces behind the shift, I'm on page 50 now, the top of page 50. Your market only shifts because the motive and rationale behind buying and selling has shifted. And so it talks about kind of how you can't motivate these people. You can't if they're not motivated, if they're not ready right now, you can't motivate them. You can aid them. You can try and help them better understand why they should consider buying or selling in this market. But like I said, you can't motivate them. Their motives are their own. Bottom of page 50. Their rationales or reasons are theirs and theirs alone. Since you can't actually motivate people, your only choice will be to find more of them. So this is talking about doubling, like we've been talking about, doubling down on your lead generation. Finding why in your head you don't think you can do this lead generation. What's causing you to not double down on what you're doing, to not lead generate more? Do you have your own myths in your own head that make you think people just aren't out there? People just aren't ready to buy or sell. And then, do you have the scripts for it? So I'm going to bring up one copy of some scripts that they have shared, and it should be on the screen now. Is my screen not sharing? It says it is, but it doesn't look like it on. Hopefully it is. So this will probably be the best way for you to look at it. I have this document saved. If you want it, just let me know and I will send it to you. Shoot me an email and I'll get it sent out to you. This is something that was shared in that Facebook Pivot social media. These are just a couple of, it's actually 5 different scripts you can use for when sellers come and they have these responses they have these objections where they may not be ready to sell right now, how you can move past these. And so this is a great way to get past those myths that you have in your own head where the sellers aren't out there, they're not motivated, they're not ready. Well, here is a list of some of the scripts you can go over. You can practice these and then talk to them, move these sellers through some of these scripts about why they may not be in the right mindset for selling their home. So we're going to go over this with someone in the class, but again, I'll just go over it with myself. I don't mind doing that at all. So this one right here, I know we've had a lot of people saying that, please let me click off this. Oh, what did I do? We've got a lot of people saying, we just kind of want to wait until all of this is over. And this is a great script that somebody shared in the class I was watching. They went over it and they said, of course, it doesn't go exactly like this. We all know that scripts don't go exactly like this. Spontaneity is a conditioned reflex. They may pop up in the 3rd sentence and start talking, but as long as you've gone over this script enough, you'll be able to work with it and still stay on the schedule of the script while listening to them as well. And so someone says to you, we want to wait until all this craziness is over. And that kind of also goes into number 4. We're worried we may not get the best offer right now. You'll see it says same response as number 3. Those two kind of go together. They may not have the right motivations for this. So what this script says is, I completely understand. A lot of my sellers are saying that right now. Can I actually talk to you about what my thoughts are? First, ideally, you told me you wanted to sell and move before August, right? So given the uncertainty of the market right now, and of course I can't predict the future, and this would be, if I were in here, I would reference something that Adam Kuntz, one of our agents, said to us really recently. He said, if I could predict what the market was going to be in a month, I'd be working at Wall Street right now. So I've taken that I've started using that in some of the scripts I use. So Adam, thank you for that. I've now taken that and spread it to everyone else. I can't tell you what the market's going to be a month from now. If I did, I'd be on Wall Street. What I do know is that we are more certain of the market right now than we are in the coming months. While the market, yes, it is uncertain right now, we are more certain of what it is right now than what it might be in the future. We can't predict what it'll be in the future. I know that buyers are still looking right now. This next one, like I said, this is one of the reasons you practice it. The next sentence is, I actually just had an open house with more traffic than usual, probably because people have more time to look at houses now. That's going to be a little bit different. So look into that, figure out something you can say now. Buyers are definitely still looking right now. Maybe you have more buyer clients than you're used to and you're struggling to find them inventory. That would be a good something to put in there. If you type out this script, something to substitute right there is, I'm working with a lot of really motivated buyers right now. So I know that there are definitely more buyers on the market. And so then it goes into, actually, you may have a competitive advantage to list right now because there may be other sellers out there that had those same motivations as you, and they're deciding to either not list or take their home off the market. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. It goes long, but you'll see that these scripts right here, they're proven. These are agents that are sharing this with us, top agents, not just in Keller Williams, but in the entire industry, sharing scripts like this. So you may be thinking let's go to another myth you may have. If it's not, there aren't motivated people out there. Maybe it's, I don't have the right scripts for that, or I'm never going to use scripts. Take a look into what I just went over right here. That was maybe the second time I've read that script, and you can see how easy it is to just kind of go, not just look at it and read it like a robot. I didn't say I completely understand. I am hearing that from a lot of my sellers right now. Can I share with you my thoughts? First, ideally, blah, 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 blah. I didn't say that. I just looked at it and I kind of thought, okay, how can I make this my own? A lot of times, especially now, you may be on the phone with somebody. They're not going to see a script in front of you. They're not going to be able to see what you're seeing. If you're on Zoom, I could make it look like I'm looking through my contacts, or I can even be focused right here. I could have my phone right here and just it looks like I'm looking at you. I'm saying I completely understand. I'm hearing that from a lot of my sellers right now, and that looks like I'm looking at you. A couple of strategies that you can use these scripts to your advantage. So that's another one of the myths. You're going to have to learn to do things different. Going to have to learn to, like I said, this is about shifting your business. How are you shifting your business to match it to the times? And now that we're talking about matching about the times, I'm going to turn to page 54 and 55 and kind of lead right into step one, which is stop doing what doesn't work. And so one of the activities that we're going to do here is we're going to end up writing down some of our lead generation activities. And even if you're watching this later, I definitely suggest you follow through on the activity. But I do kind of want to talk about a little bit of what it says. On 54, about right in the middle, it talks about, it starts on step one, stop doing what doesn't work. And I'll go into the first part. It says, when you have fewer leads than you need, you really do have a problem you can't ignore. Ayn Rand, I probably messed that up, summed up this challenge extremely well when she wrote, "We can evade reality, but we cannot evade the consequences of evading reality." The consequences of evading the reality of your lead generation situation could be dire. This is not lead generating right now is why people are going to go out of business, is why people may move out of the real estate business or put their real estate business on hold right now. It's going to be because they're not lead generating. So a little bit down there at the bottom, it says your goals haven't changed. I would hope that even during this COVID time, your goals for the year have not changed. You know what your annual income goal is, and you know the number of sales you must close to hit it. What has changed is the number of appointments you are going on and the number of leads it takes to get those appointments. So we're going to now go into the activity of writing down your top 10 sources of leads. If you don't have 10, just write down your top 8, your top 7, whatever they are. So take a second right now, pause the video, write down your top 10 sources of leads. Now, this could be individuals you send referrals to. It could be stuff you're paying for. Could be what you're really just trying to do is answer the question of where are my leads coming from. So take a second right now, write those down. Okay, so now that you've done that, what you're going to do is right beside each one of those, the number of valid leads that source is giving you. So if you were doing a Facebook campaign through your Keller Williams command, if you were doing a Facebook campaign through there and it brought you 50 leads and 5 of those were valid, you would write 5 beside Facebook campaigns. So take a second beside each one of them. And if you don't know, my first thing would say, my first thing I would say is start tracking it. Start tracking it right now. If you can, go back, try and track it. If you don't know, take a small stab at it. But your best option is going to be to start tracking it. And if you do start tracking it in a month from now, do this activity again. So like I said, right now, take a second, write down beside each one of those how many valid leads that source has brought you. Okay, so now that you've done that, I want you to prioritize them 1 through 10. 1 is going to be the one that brings you the most leads, that has brought you the most valid leads in the past month. And 10 is going to be the one that has brought you the least out of your top 10 or maybe your top 8. So take a second, rank them 1 through 10, and then we'll get back to the next thing here in a second. Okay, so now what I want you to do is take the bottom 5 that you just wrote down. So if you just did the top 10, you would do the top 5 or the bottom 5. So you're 5 through 10. If you did, if you only had 6, then you would do the bottom 3. Take those and just X them out. Just put a cross through them because these are going to be the ones that aren't working, that you may be putting money into that aren't going to be worth it right now, that you're spreading, if you're putting money into it, you're spreading money too thin. You need to be working on those top 3. That's where your business is going to come from. That's where you need to focus on. If you took all of the funds, all of the focus that you're using on those bottom 3 and added it to the top 3, you're going to get more consistent leads, more consistent appointments, and you're probably going to spend less money. So take a second, mark those out, and let's really look at those top 3. This could be, let's say your number 1 was expired, your number 2 was door knocking, your number 3 was calls to sphere. I'm just taking this off of page 55, the activity that is right there. You can see what they did. They went, and I think that one's it. I don't know. I'm never going to be good at this. They circled the ones that are on the top. I, of course, just had you X out the ones that we're not using. For this one, it was expireds, door knocking, calls to sphere, direct newsletter, and open houses. Take those, focus on those. Those are going to be your lead sources, and that's going to be the sweet spot for you. You know these work. If you follow this activity, you know these work, and you need to put more focus in on those to get the leads that you want. So that was page 55. I'm now going to go into page 58. 58 is a great graph for you to look at. It's the 2 M's of lead generation, message, and method. Let's see if I can get this right off the rip. Sort of. That graph right there. We're going to be looking at that one. So message and method. Message is match the market, make an offer. Like I said, match your market. We're going to be looking at that one first. So when you're using these lead generation methods, let's say you're posting something on Facebook, is what you're posting matching the market right now? Are you still using your old methods of, or your old sayings of, maybe you post something on a Facebook ad and it's, I can get you showings on your house right now. I'll hold an open house for you. I'm going to do everything I possibly can. Is that going to work right now? No. People don't want you in their house. People probably don't want tons of other people in their house. You may not even be able to have them. If you're watching this from somewhere else, you may not even be able to have an open house right now. So your message needs to match your market. When you're putting out this lead generation, make sure that it's, if you have looked at on command and started doing virtual showings, or seen, I've posted something on Facebook. I know Matt's posted something on Facebook on virtual showings, virtual open houses. If you're doing that, that's going to be a huge value point for you to put out right now. People are going to want to see that kind of stuff. Let's see if I can. I believe I have it. I don't think I have Facebook still pulled up. But you know where my Facebook is. Go find it. So it has to match the market to be effective. And it says that on page 59. Your message must match your market to be effective. This is a timeless business truth that transcends all markets and market conditions. The 2 questions you want to ask here, middle of page 59, Why would they want to contact you in this market? And what would they get if they did? In a shifted market, personal branding alone without a lead generating message won't get you the motivated leads that you need. So if you're just marketing yourself without some kind of lead generation method, I did it again, you're not going to get the motivated leads that you need. So we need to have some sort of message, some sort of value. So take a second right now and write out what would, instead of telling people that you're going to be able to get people looking at their homes now, get people in their home now, write out what you think your value message, your market matched message is going to be right now. So take a second and write that out. Okay, so once you've written that out, we're going to flip the page over to page 60, and we're going to figure out what your offering, what your value, whether that's direct or indirect. So there's two ways that we can tell what's indirect and what's direct. I like to use examples, and the examples that I highlighted are on page 61. And this is, if you are offering a home for sale and someone responds, that's a direct offer. If you're offering something like a free report of something and they respond, that's an indirect offer. Both of these are going to be offers that you put out as to, instead of just putting out your brand, what are you offering? What's your value, like I said. So determine whether that's direct or indirect. Are you being direct where the value that you're putting out is going to bring someone immediately? You're putting out an ad on a home that you've listed. That's going to be direct. The person who responds to that is going to say, I'm interested in buying this home. Or are you putting out like, hey, my name is Jackson Cease and I'm putting out a market report. I'd love to share this market report with you. Give me your contact information so I can share it. That's going to be something that is an indirect offer. That's going to be something that is, they may not be ready to buy or sell a home right now, but you're now offering them something that's going to make them want to get in contact with you. And that could 6, 12, 18 months down the line lead to something. I think at this point, any time down the line that's a good lead to have. So that's kind of talking about the lead gen portion of it. We went over some of the scripts, changing up your lead generation, shifting it, making it match the market. And that actually already took us 25 minutes. I want to really quick cover some of the prospecting and marketing stuff. Page 65 in the shift book. Check that out. It's a list of all the different prospecting and marketing. Not going to go over all of them right now because I really want to get to the lead conversion portion, which is going to be page 83. And this is going to be get to the table, lead conversion. So let's go to page 83. And maybe what I'll do is I'm going to wrap this up once I get done with this, and then I'll do another class on seller pricing strategies and bulletproofing the transaction, which if you want to write them down, that's page 135 and page 241. But I do want to do the get to the table. I guess at this point it's probably going to be get to the virtual table. But you still want to have, once you've lead generated, once you've gotten this contact information, and of course a lead isn't really a lead unless you have the contact information. You need to get an appointment with this person. You need to know when this person is going to be buying or selling, whether this is I'm going to be buying or selling in 3 to 6 months, or I'm just looking right now. And to do this, we need to have the appointment with them. Having the appointment is huge. And a lot of what's missed with getting that first contact information to getting the appointment is the follow-up. Our lead conversion may be struggling right now. So let's go over some tips to get to the table. Get that appointment that you want with them. Let me make sure that I'm not missing any questions. Okay, yeah, it's still just me and me. So I went to page 83. Let's actually go to page 87, 88, 89, 87 to 92. And I'll go over some of the stuff that I've seen, that I've watched in these shift videos that people are talking about. So right now, one of your biggest focuses is going to be winning the appointment, getting that appointment, and then once you're there, winning it. So how do we make sure that we're getting that appointment? What is our follow-up process? How many touches do we have in our follow-up process? Are we systematized to where our follow-up process is completely virtual? Is it completely virtual, and is it all done? Let me see if I can show you if I can find. Oh, it's just tiny. Have you looked at using a smart plan to do it? You'll see that I have on my smart plans that I need to call certain people. I even have a script. I have a script written right in there that it's going to remind me to call them. I'm going to call them and I'm going to have the script right in front of me. I also have some smart plans for newer agents that we bring on. This is all follow-up stuff that I can almost guarantee you, if I didn't have those, I would forget to call one of these four today. Everyone has a busy schedule, but I know that if I'm following up with these people, if I'm talking with them, that's going to be my biggest. Let's say these were clients. That's going to be my biggest tool for lead conversion, for eventually getting the appointment, whether it's now, whether it's a month from now. My best source is going to be following up. So making sure that we are systematized with our follow-up is going to be huge. Once you get the phone call, I highlighted this on page 89. Either your ability will cause a meeting to take place or your lack of ability will prevent it. So are you practicing, once you've systematized your follow-up and you get that phone call, are you going to, if you still haven't gotten an appointment, maybe that phone call is just trying to get an appointment, have you practiced, are you the master of getting from that phone call to the appointment? Is your ability going to cause it to take place, or is your lack of ability going to prevent it? This is where script practice comes into play. 10 a.m. every Tuesday morning, Matt goes through script practices. These two scripts that I have right here, pre-qualifying script is just one example. These scripts, have you practiced these enough to where you are going to win that person when you are essentially vying for a spot in that person's schedule? Are you going to win that spot in their schedule, or is someone else's ability, is someone else's practice going to take over and they're going to win it? So we're practicing scripts. Let's go to, I'm going to try to hurry it up at this point. Some of the things that, just real quick, some of the things that I heard in that call. Some people are having, one agent brought up, some people are saying, if I sell my house, I don't know if I'm going to be able, where am I going to move to? And if you have that objection come up, ask yourself, has anyone ever gone homeless working with me? I can almost guarantee you no one working with you has ever gone homeless. So if you want to use that response right there, no one has ever become homeless working with me. You'll see that's a direct pull from James Shaw. That's the script that he uses. Now, one script that I've seen, once let's say you're getting a lead off of your website or off of your app. Also, both things that are in command, both things that can be fully systematized for you. You get contact information there. You're of course calling them as soon as possible. Maybe it's, hey, this is Jackson from Keller Williams Great Smokies. I was wondering, are you looking to buy a home in the next 3 to 6 months, or are you just browsing? Find their motivation right up front. You're not technically going to be pushy, like it says on page 92. Pushy people are just pushy people. There are ways to work around that. The script doesn't necessarily have to be pushy. You just have to make sure that you're not pushy if you don't want to be. I'm running out of time, so we'll continue this in a later class. Look through pages 87 to 92, and then, like I said, pages 135 to 241. And in the next one, I'd love to hear from some people on some of the strategies that they're using. I want to start having these shift classes as my masterminds, because I want our agents to really start focusing on getting listings, what strategies other agents are using to get listings. All of this is going to be focused around getting listings. So if you're struggling with that, or if you want to learn more about that, or if you're winning with that and you want to tell other people what you're doing and brag on yourself, I would love to have you on these calls. So like I said, if you want these scripts, feel free to email me, and if you'd like to practice them with someone, I'd love to script practice with you. And don't forget Matt's 10 o'clock class every Tuesday morning. So thank you guys for checking me out. If you have any questions, just let me know.